Yo, it's Pop. I've been peeping this channel, StayWavyTV. They keep it real with the stories, the culture, the grind, no fluff, just truth. If you about growth, about learning, about riding your own wave,
Good, y'all. The Boston Celtics just lost their third game of the season. They are now 0-3 to start off this new NBA season. And Jaylen Brown is proving that he is not the leader of the Boston Celtics. And he is proving that he cannot be the number one option for the Boston Celtics. Now, I'm very surprised by this because, of course, just 2 years ago when the Boston Celtics won the NBA championship, Jaylen Brown was named the Eastern Conference NBA Finals MVP, and he was named the regular Finals MVP. And all of us were saying that Jaylen Brown is better than Jayson Tatum, but it's not looking like it, okay? I thought that this was a season for Jaylen Brown to prove to the NBA that he can be the number one option on any team and that he can lead his team to victories with or without Jayson Tatum. And listen, Jaylen Brown himself has added on to this narrative. A lot of people forget this, but we've seen Jaylen Brown on his Twitter account retweeting and liking tweets where people are saying that, you know, Jaylen Brown doesn't get the credit he deserves. You know, he could easily be the most dominant player if he was on a different team. And he basically was adding on to the narrative that everybody was giving credit to Jayson Tatum and not him. But now that you actually have an opportunity to prove that you're one of the best players in the NBA and that you can be a leader and you can be the number one option without Jayson Tatum, he's completely folding under pressure. This man, Jaylen Brown, went and got the Carlos Boozer haircut, putting a whole can of black paint in his head because he had them tight-ass braids that I guess made his hair get thin, and now he got bald spots everywhere. So this man, on his birthday, got a haircut with a whole bunch of black spray in his head and had the audacity to smudge that black paint on the other team's jersey. Somebody on the other team, he got the black paint on their jersey, bruh. They got a permanent black stain on their jersey because you rubbed your head on their jersey, bruh. You know what I'm saying? On your birthday. That's what makes this even more nastier. This happened on your birthday, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about all three games that have happened so far for the Boston Celtics. Let's talk about the first game of the season, which was up against the Philadelphia 76ers. This was a very easily winnable game for the Boston Celtics. Joel Embiid looked like a shell of himself. He only had 4 points. Okay, the Celtics were winning for basically the entire game until the fourth quarter. Jaylen Brown had 25 points, but it was not a consistent 25 points. Excuse me, he had 25 points. He was 9 for 18, 2 for 4 from the 3, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Sounds like he had a good game, right? But in the fourth quarter, when it mattered the most, Jaylen Brown completely disappeared. Okay, I don't think he made 1 or 2 shots the entire fourth quarter. He just completely folded. Okay, just completely folded under pressure. He allowed Tyrese Maxey to get hot. Also, the rookie for the Philadelphia 76ers, I don't know his name, don't really care to know his name. His name is Edge Combi. He ended up dropping, I think, like 30 or 40 some points, you know what I'm saying? And the Celtics lost the first game of the season, which they should have won. Okay, we all know the 76ers are the biggest hype job in the NBA. Paul George isn't even back, and they should have won that game, right? Now, the second game of the season, they lost to the New York Knicks by 10 points, okay? In this game, Jaylen Brown had 23 points. He was 9 for 18, 3 for 7 from the 3. You know what I'm saying? A very inconsistent three-point shooting night. But we also have to place that blame on Derek White, who was even worse. He was 5 for 18 and 3 for 11 from the 3. Okay, so I can't entirely blame Jaylen Brown for that loss because at the end of the day, basketball is a team sport. Anthony Simons also played like dog shit. He came off of the bench and only had 10 points, you know what I'm saying? And then most recently, yesterday, they lost to the Detroit Pistons 119 to 113. Now, Jaylen Brown, right? To Jaylen Brown's credit, he had 41 points in this game, okay? But at the end of the day, bro, you know what I'm saying? You have to lead your team to victory, bro. Pritchard had 21 points. Derek White had a rough night, 15 points. He was 3 for 11 from the 3. You know what I'm saying? Anthony Simons came off of the bench again. First of all, why the fuck is Anthony Simons coming off of the bench? Why is Anthony Simons, who was just the starting point guard for the Portland Trailblazers, who I think is probably the most underrated point guard in the league, why the fuck is he coming off the bench? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is the head coach doing? This guy's a starter, okay? He shoots just as good as Damian Lillard from the three. He's a point guard. You feel me? Like, he should be starting. I don't get why Pritchard is starting at point guard over Anthony Simons. This is criminal. And I know Pritchard is a good player, but he played like dog shit last night. The man was 2 for 8 from the three. Okay. Derek White, 3 for 11 from the three. Okay. Jaylen Brown actually had a really good game last night. But at the end of the day, bro, you have to be a leader. Okay. What I'm seeing happening to Jaylen Brown right now, this looks like Kevin Durant after he left the Golden State Warriors, right? Has high scoring games, very consistent shooter, but when it matters the most, he fails to put the team on his back and lead his team to victory. That's what I'm getting. That is exactly what I am getting from Jaylen Brown this season, bro. Jaylen Brown is failing to be a leader. Jaylen Brown, when your teammates like Pritchard and Derek White is jacking up a bunch of threes and they're not making them, it's your job as a leader to tell them to stop taking dumbass shots. You should be screaming at them, hey, bro, you're not making threes. Why don't you drive to the paint? Why don't you take some mid-range shots? Why don't you get to the free throw line? That's your job, bro. You got to be a leader. You know what I'm saying? You the Finals MVP. You the Eastern Conference Finals MVP. You know what I'm saying? But Jaylen Brown is out here just walking like a deer, you know, looking at headlights, you know, praying that Jayson Tatum comes back early from his Achilles tear, bro. And I'm going to tell you this, man. This is going to be a long season for the Boston Celtics. Because if you can't beat the Detroit Pistons, and if you can't beat the Philadelphia 76ers, where Joel Embiid only has 4 points, oh, they in trouble. Because I feel like if you can't beat the Pistons and the Pistons are a good team, by the way. I'm not trying to disrespect the Pistons, but they haven't done shit in the playoffs, right? But if you're the Boston Celtics, who just won a championship 2 years ago, and you can't beat the Pistons and you can't beat the 76ers, then you probably can't beat the Miami Heat. You probably can't beat the Milwaukee Bucks. You probably can't beat the Orlando Magic, who just got Bane. They got Desmond Bane on their team now. You know what I'm saying? They're in for a brutal season. And you're damn sure not going to beat the teams in the Western Conference. You're damn sure not going to beat OKC. You're damn sure not going to beat you're damn sure not going to beat the Lakers with Luka. You're damn sure not going to beat the Denver. You're damn sure not going to beat the San Antonio Spurs. So, listen, man. I'm worried about the Celtics. Best case scenario, if things get too bad, they should tank the season and try to get, you know, a top 5 pick in the draft pick. So when Jayson Tatum comes back, not only do you have Jayson Tatum, but now you have a top 5 draft pick. You possibly could get number 1 if they keep continuing to lose. But this is hurting. You have to understand that Jaylen Brown is hurting his value in the league right now. He is 100% hurting his value in the league. Because God forbid, if the Celtics ever decide to split up Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum, you know, teams are going to look at Jaylen Brown like, well, we seen Jaylen Brown play by himself and he was a loser. He didn't help his team win games. So, you know, why would we make a trade for Jaylen Brown when he has one of the biggest contracts in the NBA? As a matter of fact, when he first signed the contract, it was the highest contract in NBA history, you know, and then somebody obviously broke the record. But, you know, Jaylen Brown is hurting his value right now. Facts. He's not looking like that guy. You know what I'm saying? And when Jayson Tatum comes back and they start winning games again, then you know what people are going to say? Oh, Jayson Tatum is number 1. Jaylen Brown is number 2. And I know for a fact that Jaylen Brown has a big ego and Jaylen Brown feels like he's the best player on the Boston Celtics. By the way, me and Jaylen Brown got the same birthday. Shout out to Jaylen Brown. But I'm telling you, bro, you know, me being a Scorpio, Jaylen Brown feels like he's the best player on the team. But it's not looking like it, brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not looking like it, brother. Like, all of that sneak dissing you was doing on Twitter where people were saying that Tatum was better than you, bro. Like, what are you doing to really, like, you know, what are you doing for that narrative, bro? Like, you're proving everybody right. You are proving everybody right, bro. Like, Jaylen Brown, bro, like, you're not out there looking like a superstar, bro. You're not. You're not out there looking like an all-star, superstar, or MVP. You're just not, bro. When Kevin Durant left the OKC Thunder, Russell Westbrook was still winning games. Russell Westbrook led his team to the playoffs. Russell Westbrook won a regular season MVP award. Russell Westbrook, when he was going up against the team that KD left him for, the game was actually competitive. It was actually competitive. And we're not seeing that with Jaylen Brown. We're seeing Jaylen Brown, like, not help his team at all win games. Just because you score 20 or 40, that's not helping your team win games, bro. Helping your team win games is knowing when to pass the ball and showing up for your team when it needs you the most, specifically in the fourth quarter. Making the right pass, knocking down the right shots, and when you see that your teammates is fucking up, you hold them accountable. Jaylen Brown, you're the one that said out of your mouth that you're the leader of the Boston Celtics. It's not looking like it, brother. It's not looking like it. So with that being said, man, let me know what you guys think about this video. It's your boy Wavy, StayWavyTV. Make sure y'all subscribe, thumbs up the video, leave a comment, share the video. Thank you guys for watching. I'm out.
Hey, yo, what's up? It's Nip. Make sure you tap in and subscribe to StayWavyTV right here on YouTube. They keep it authentic. They keep it moving. Hit that button, turn the bell on, and stay wavy. Love.